We are back. It is a Tuesday afternoon, and that can only mean one thing. Studio Triple J is full to the brim with guests coming on. We are very excited. Keen-eyed viewers that have been keeping tabs know that this one has been in the works for a long time. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, we'd like to welcome you all in to another episode of the Protect You podcast. Jake Wilson, as always, alongside Jay Mickens. Jay, I am jumping out of my seat. I'm so ready for this one to get going.
Man, I was excited, man. This is been an episode that I've been waiting on for a very, very long time. I think after the podcast is over, people will be like, I understand why Jay was so just at awe, right? At the very beginning of the show. I mean, we got a very special guest coming on. Then we got two other guests coming on after that. Like, big announcements, breaking news. Like, I mean, there might be a sighting of a very large human being. Like, there's just going to be a lot on this podcast. I'm so pumped and excited, and let's get it going, bro.
Say, even in just the planning stage, Jay, it seemed like, ooh, we got to fit this in. We got to find a way to work this angle.
Oh, yeah.
It was a lot more than it may seem on the surface here.
Well, I mean, think about it. I mean, we prepped for this podcast a month ago.
Same months. This has been in the works for a while.
And then when the first guest that we're going to have come on, when that kind of came to fruition, a couple of weeks ago, that's when we're like, wait, we got to work this in. But it's been awesome. And hey, this is why we do what we do.
Absolutely.
Right. We're here for the kids. We're here to help put them on and continue to promote them here at Protection United, and to have somebody, in the house, our first guest.
Yeah, I would say we had Justin Williams a couple of weeks ago where we did that interview, but now
the interview, but
in the flesh.
This is going to be live, like in 3D. This is different.
Yes,
and I'm excited for it. I cannot wait for the world to see who is in the Triple J studios.
Yes, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves, folks, because we still got some things and some business to get to here. As some of y'all may know, things have continued onwards in the state playoffs, not just for the state of Texas, but also our guys in Louisiana. Shout outs to Alex Fontenot, Ryan Reeder, Isaiah Stokes getting out there and getting some work done. Raleigh Pinto getting out there some work in Alabama. But we'll keep it here in the Lone Star State for the time being, because, Jay, we welcome back in Javion Martin into the fold as a returning member of the Protect You crew. And I think as a little bit of a housewarming gift, he decided to get out there and show up in one of the best performances that we have seen out of the Willis Wildcats. This round 3 performance has been tough for him, but he says, you know what? Let's leap on over and keep moving the locomotive.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, you see the big fella. I mean, one of the best tight ends in the nation right now, currently committed to University of Houston. But, I mean, this young man, and look at that freeze frame. I mean,
shout-outs to whoever took this. My goodness.
But leave it up, Computer Jesus, for a second before you come back. I just want to talk about that. Not only if you look at the height of the hurdle, but look how clean it is. I mean, the back leg is perfect. I mean, he looks like a person that has been doing hurdles his whole life. I mean, in pool number 22 or whatever number that kid is, I mean, we can read the bottom of his cleats. I mean, he's dove out. But Javion is showing the world what he's doing. And like now you're looking at a scenario, if you can get wireframe on the Computer Jesus, I want to talk back and forth to Jake on this, but you're looking at a young man that had a great high school regular season.
Oh, yeah.
But what he is doing in the playoffs right now is something that, I don't know if anyone's ever seen from the standpoint of when he gets the ball in his hands, like, it is danger zone. He had another catch in that game, bro, where he drugged 3 or 4 people almost into the end zone. I mean, he has the awareness, he's catching everything, and when he's getting that ball in his hands, the yak and the just sheer desire to go get in that end zone every time. I mean, it's been fun to watch, man, and this team is four rounds deep. Texas 6A football playoff.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important, too, to emphasize that, because this was one of the best wins of the season for the Willis Wildcats, a 38-32 dub in the regional round. 4 catches, 81 yards, and that tutty for Javion.
He also had about 8 tackles.
Yes.
Because he also starts at defensive end as well. I think we failed to mention that.
Hey, it might be beneficial to let people know that this guy's a true Swiss Army knife. He's got it on the receiving end. He's got great blocking skills out of that tight end spot. And then, like you said, he can get some pass deflections coming off of the defensive edge as well.
Right.
And because of that multifaceted talent and a lot of the pieces that the
Right.
Wildcats have moving forward, they will be taking on a playoff rival, it seems like now, the DeSoto Eagles on Friday, or forgive me, that's a Saturday matchup now.
Saturday matchup.
They said we got the stadium all to ourselves.
Let's go.
Treat this like it's a high stakes college football game.
I mean, Baylor ain't playing.
Mm-mm.
They're not playing on Saturday.
So they'll be heading over to McLean Stadium.
Yep.
Them, Jamal Lagway, also Protect You crew member.
Yep.
They'll be taking on DeSoto.
You got to go against Bowie Feaster.
It's a great opportunity.
Great
to get out there
opportunity
and show off your stuff.
For the young buck.
And because of that, Jay, we'll have our eyes on McLean Stadium, but also another game that we're going to have to pay some pretty deep attention to is our guy, Kingston Byer. We've only brought this guy on a couple of weeks ago, Jay, and we've already talked about him multiple times, but it's like we always say, you ball, you're going to get the call. And Kingston has absolutely been doing that. They had to double team him all throughout their most recent matchup, so not a whole lot of highlights to show for you there, but think of this more so as a team highlight for what Kingston and All Saints have been able to do, as they will be playing for a state championship out of the TAPS Division II ranks, and they'll also be in Waco, this time out of Waco ISD Stadium.
Yeah, bro. No, it's going to be exciting for him. And, I think there's a link, that you can watch the state championship on, right?
Yep, but, I got it right here.
You got to go ahead. You want to announce it for
go on over to www.tapswith2psnetwork.com. You should be able to find that game front and center, because there's going to be a lot of attention in that one. You're going to have that DFW Houston rivalry, as they'll be taking on a Houston Baptist school. So a little bit of that worked into there as well, but our regional bias is not going to affect anything. We'll be pulling for you, Kingston.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for Kingston, and I cannot wait to watch him get that dub. I mean, expecting them to win that state championship, but no, most importantly, I mean, just looking at Kingston being one of those forces, at that defensive front, and I cannot wait.
Yes.
I cannot wait, man, to watch him do his thing. Something about when he gets in that 4-point stance. He just looks nasty when he gets down there, bro. He's a dude.
He's got a little bit of almost Myles Garrett to him, where he's quick off the block, but he's got some blistering power that'll really make somebody pay if he gets behind that line.
Exactly.
And because of that, eyes will be on him as they get ready to take on their matchup on Friday. So if you go down to the Waco area, you'll get some 2 really good matchups on back-to-back days for Protect You crew members. And then one last guy that we've got to highlight out of ball and get the call. We are talking none other than Dylan Mitchell. Autopilot. Get this ball to
Superman,
this guy, and he will get moving. And you got to see a lot of that here in CE King's most recent win over Katie Jordan. And this is just a taste of it here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one of the fastest young men in the state of Texas, and he's only a sophomore, class of 2028. It was another clip too. I don't know if we got it that we can show, but I mean, he caught a touchdown pass that was pretty good, and in this game, and hey, Dylan's helping his team prevail. I mean, we're looking at another situation where they get a rematch against nationally ranked Summer Creek, right? Or formerly nationally ranked Summer Creek, and they're meeting in the regional final, right? But I just love seeing a Dylan Mitchell to where, once again, this young man was playing freshman football last year, right? Now he's in a situation to where they're expecting him to do big things as a true sophomore, and Dylan's been holding it down. I mean, he is the guy, and what we're seeing and what we've been blessed to see, man, has been just something magical, right? I mean, this young man finished 4th in the 100-yard dash in the state of Texas as a freshman. That means that he's number 1 in 48 other states.
You say, because we talk about how good high school football is in the state of Texas. I think track sort of flies under the radar because there's some speedsters out here.
No, and CE King is seeing that. That's why they're getting the ball in his hands, and they understand. I mean, I like how they're treating him like what I think he's going to end up grading out to be another Percy Harvin type, right? Where they can put him in the backfield, they can put him at slot. He's a jet sweep guy. He's a screen guy. He can also burn you over the top. I mean, obviously kickoff return, punt return. I mean, he's that guy, and that's why I'm not shocked that although he's got 2 more years left of high school football, he's already got 20+ D1 offers.
Yes, because this is a guy that wherever you put him out there on the field We've seen it firsthand that he can get it done in the special teams game. One of the best returners that we've seen this entire season. And then I think the stats just speak for themselves here,
Yeah,
Jay.
I agree.
You're talking about averaging 30 yards per catch, 4 catches, 126 yards in their most recent playoff game, 3 carries for 70 rushing yards and a touchdown as well. When you're able to do that many things out of one position and in such a small package too, where it seems like that size goes to his advantage because try tackling me, I'm already lower to the ground than you'll ever be.
Yeah. No, I agree. No, I agree, man. No, Dylan, special. Hey, I'm proud that he's a part of the Protect You crew because he's a special young man. And let's just say that I'm a big fan of that 28 class that we got forming right now because we got another headliner in that class that is in the building.
Absolutely. And speaking of too, a little bit of that personal connection as well with Dylan.
We bringing that up. Maybe we want to bring that up on the show.
Absolutely.
How about we get the guest on and let's ask him.
Let's ask him what
Let's go off script, Jake.
Yes. Why don't we?
Okay.
Why don't we? Because, folks, as y'all may know, we represent some very high caliber athletes, but I don't think it gets quite higher than this, both in terms of the prestige that he brings to the table, as well as the stature that he's going to bring to the table. We've made this camera go wider than it's ever gone before because, folks, we have in the studio none other than Jay Storm Knight. We're going to get him set up and ready to go, and we'll be right back when he is in the building. We brought a special guest on, Jay. Jay Storm Knight is here, and he is ready to go. Storm, we appreciate you taking the time to come in here and join us because we've been very excited to see you not only get out there and perform as much as you have out on the field, but see just a little bit more of that personality side that we hear so much about.
Yes, sir. Ain't no problem.
Yeah, man. So happy to have you in here, big fella. So, as you saw, we just had one of your former teammates right on here, right? So,
Yes, sir.
So you and Dylan Mitchell, y'all played in Little League.
Yes, sir. We did. We played. I think it was 2023. We we went to YNC. We were undefeated. We're ranked number 1 in the state of Texas for youth football. And me and Dylan go way back, even when I was like way younger, about 8 years old, 9 years old. Whenever I started playing football for the Hurricanes, he played, and he always would just beat us bad.
So
his speed was just unmatched.
It was unmatched. So
it was something else.
It was hard to get them big paws on them, Jay Storm.
It was something else.
It was tough, I bet. Hey, man, so, I'm going to tell you a funny story. I think I might have shared it with you before, but the audience hadn't heard this, but I'll never forget. It wasn't my team. It wasn't my age group, but I remember when y'all played against my organization. Y'all came here. And I'll never forget, boy, the team mom on that level, she come running up to me and my business partner, Sean Cash, and she said, "We got to check them birth certificates. Ain't no way them kids 10 years old." And I remember looking down there. That was my first time seeing you. And I looked and I said, and the only thing that stopped it was because Billy Mitchell, right, Dylan's father was the coach. And I said, man, look, Billy played at A&M. He's been a personal friend of mine for years. I know he ain't going to cheat in no 10-year-old football game. Billy don't get down like that. Jay, I don't care what you say. We checking them birth checks. I remember the game got held up for 30 minutes while they checked, and they looked at yours like 3 times. They looked front was backwards, put it up to the sun. I'm like, and then y'all mauled my squad. So we kind of made up for the time because it was a running clock in the second half. So I don't know if you remember that, but that was my first time seeing, like, man, the kids are truly bigger here in Texas.
Yes, sir.
So, and speaking of that, man, it kind of leads to my first question. Man, how does it feel to be a Giant?
Honestly, well, first of all, it's a blessing because there's not, there's a lot of people that would like to have, my size and all that. But it's also, it's also has some of its downsides, clothes, shoes.
So that grocery bill probably
that
isn't too
grocery
kind.
bill. I wear a size 18, so it's kind of hard to get shoes and all that.
So you can't just walk in the store and be like, hey, I need 18.
No.
Like, they like, we don't have that.
See, the funny thing is, every time I walk in a store, I always be like, hey, do y'all have a size 18? And they'll be like, let me look in the back. But I already know they don't have a size 18. So they always go to the back and they're like, oh, the biggest size we have is a 13 or a 14. Well, I already figured that. So
yeah.
But it's nice, it also has its good sides to it as well. It's a blessing and there's not many people that have what I have. So I'm just really happy that I have what I have and I'm where I'm at.
Yeah.
And it's a big part of that too, because obviously schools love that. They love to see the measurables. They love to see you just absolutely tower over both your teammates and the guys that you're going up against. When you talk about the pressure and you talk about the attention that a lot of those coaches have been bringing, what has that recruitment process been like? Because forgive me if I'm wrong, but you're still you aren't even legal to drive yet at this point.
Yeah,
you're only 15,
You're
right?
only 15
Yes, sir.
at this point. So, but you have these massive national brands coming in to get a piece of you, to get an interview with you, to scout you. What has that recruitment process really been like from your perspective?
It's been a lot. I feel like it all like came on me like in a short period of time, because January 23rd, I got my first offer in Nebraska. The next day I got Texas Tech. Then the next week I got Auburn. That same day I got Texas State. Then like 3 days later I got Utah, and it was just so
Dang.
Yeah.
So it snowballed quickly.
It was in like a very short period of time. So it's definitely a lot, but me being with y'all and me being able to ask y'all, like if there's certain things I should do, what I feel like is the best move to, talk to a coach or whatever's the best move just in general on my recruiting, it helps a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I love that.
That's what we're here for, man.
We are, man. And we're honored to be an extension of your family. But
Yes,
let's
sir.
now talk about the Blood family. Let's talk about how Protection United was even allowed, right? Let's start there. We all know, right, that Mr. Jackson, right? I'm glad he's over in the green room. He's here. He's my favorite. Don't tell your mom or your grandmother. Because I knew that if we were going to be able to get you to be a part of Protection United, that was the man that we had to earn his respect and his trust because, we know how important he's been. But from your perspective, man, tell us, the role that your family has played for you in your entire journey from being 5-6 years old, putting the pads on for the first time, all the way up to where you are now.
So the support system with my family and me playing football is, I'm going to say that if they weren't there, I probably would have stopped playing probably about 2-3 years ago. Bro.
Really? Why is that?
Because, I was young, I was like in love with playing video games, all this and
There it
that.
is.
So, and my grandpa would tell me like every day before practice or even after practice, he would be like, at some point, if you want to, be great, you have to start putting in work outside of just going to football practice. So, I was young, so I didn't really mentally take that as I should have, because I was like, oh man, I'm 11 years old, everybody my age is sitting in the house playing video games and all that. And you're telling me I gotta go out on my free time to go out and work out? I was like, what? And he would always be like, the main part about it, I was young. I hated conditioning. I still do to this day.
Yeah.
He would be like, you got to go out and you got to go run. No. I couldn't stand conditioning and all that in general. But, as I got older, I realized that I do really enjoy playing football. And I'm willing to do those things outside of just going to football practice, before practice, after school, in my free time, because I do want to be great at football and I do want to be able to play at a very high level someday.
No, I love that. And speaking on your grandfather, and I love how, you shared that and broke that down, because a lot of young men aren't blessed to have those male, role figures or father figures, I would say, either, in their life. And and did that discipline come back just from like your grandfather's upbringing? Like, did he share with you like his journey that kind of got you to be like, okay, maybe I could put the sticks down and go outside and
Yes, sir.
go jog
Yes,
around
sir.
the corner?
And, like, he still tells me to this day, he's like, when I was younger, I played every sport. I did basketball, track. I think he said swimming too.
Oh,
yeah.
Mr. Jackson has shared that.
Something like that.
We're gonna have
So
to
he
talk
was
about that
like,
at lunch.
if you're gonna do something, you might as well try and be the best you can at it. So, as I got older, I realized, he's right, and I do enjoy playing football, and I do want to have a very good long career with it. Not only just have a long career, but I want to have a very good prestigious career.
I like that.
So, I'm willing to do those things, and he tells me a lot, like, about his upbringing, and I think that does come off on me as well.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I love that.
And I like that mentality too of if you're going to do something, why not be the best at
Right.
it? Why not go ahead and take that extra step to be really great at it?
And your film shows that, by the way.
And you absolutely exemplify that in every way, because you play a very interesting position too, out of choosing the right tackle position on
Yes,
the
sir.
offensive line. I know obviously people like to say that the offensive line, it can be interchangeable, where they can put you wherever they feel like, but where do you feel like your strengths really lean in staying out of that right tackle position? Is it because you don't want to be too tall in the middle of the offensive line, your quarterback can't see over you, or do you feel like there's something a little bit more that goes into that?
So honestly, the thing with me playing right tackle, a big part of like our offense, well, I expected out of our offense, just run the ball behind me.
Fair enough.
The DN's gonna be out to play no matter what. So it doesn't matter. Like, if you put the ball behind me, you're gonna get guaranteed yards. So, and then even when it comes to passing, I'm not on the blind side. I can play left tackle because you should, as an O lineman, you should be able to play almost every position or every position. I wouldn't mind playing. I wouldn't mind playing guard, but if it's to help the team win, I wouldn't mind playing guard. But I don't know about center. I think I'm too tall for that. But right tackle, pass protection, because my quarterback is right-handed, so he's looking that way.
Right.
So it feels better like on me to know that like my quarterback could just look dead at me and know that he has time at least in like directly in front of him.
Yeah.
And all that. And then when it comes to my running back, you run behind me, you got yards.
You're
That's for
good,
sure.
right?
Yeah, you're good.
We got a couple other guys that we're going to bring on a little later. I think they can help give us a good grade on what a right tackle looks
sir.
like when they're in the NFL, because they're the experts when it comes to that. So we'll be sure to add that, Jake, to our off script list. Questions.
For sure.
And in turn too, Jay Storm, right? Just getting to watch you play, getting to see how you've been doing, everything that you've been doing on the field as well as off the field, which, by the way, got to hear some other interviews that you've been doing. I see
sir.
You've been working with our guy, Jake,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Like, talk to us just a little bit, if you don't mind, about with Protection United, when it comes to like, the actual like the mentorship program, that we also offer with our recruiting services, to where they help you with the mock interviews. How did that go with you and Jake, in regards to that, as he kind of helped prep you for some of those?
So when I had the mock interviews with Mr. Jake, it was definitely helpful, because our first interview, I said, I would say like so honestly in like other words to somewhat like not extend my response, but to like show the person that's interviewing me that I didn't really have like a stable answer. So he started like showing me different ways. Like, I just take a breather before I speak to show that I'm giving thought into my answer instead of just answering right out the gate. But also it shows that I'm not just worried about just getting the answer over with, and I'm actually showing them. And then also the second one that we did, he said that, it was better. I didn't have too many ums. I'm still working on that today, but
Me too.
Of course,
Me too.
of
I'm
course.
still working on it.
he said, taking out some of the ums and just going on with your answer and try and be as fluent as you possibly can.
Oh, I like that, brother. Okay, well, with that being said, man, we got a segment that we like to call the 2-minute warning. All right, Jay Storm, look, we're going to hit you with some hard-hitting questions.
Yes, sir.
You got to give quick answers. This is almost like the Wonderlic test.
Okay.
Something else that you're going to probably have to take. I got a feeling you're going to have that. All right, here we go. 2-minute warning. First question. What is the meaning behind the name Jay Storm?
So my name, I honestly do not know completely for sure, but I remember when I was younger, my mom, I don't know if she was saying it just because of my age or not, but she would say that she like my grandma gave me that name because my mom didn't like storms and all that. And my grandma's mom didn't want to just have Jay, so she used Jai.
What's wrong with J.Y.?
I don't know.
I think it's a great name, me personally. But okay. What's your favorite football player?
Oh, Trent Williams.
Trent Williams.
Trent Williams.
Yeah, you said that quick.
Oh yeah.
That was like already teed up.
Easy.
Easy?
Trent Williams.
That's the guy that if you could meet right now.
Easy. Trent Williams.
Facts.
Love that.
All right. If your life had a theme song that played when you walked into a room, what would it be?
Here I Go by Mystical.
Yeah, you got an old song. I like that. I mean, mystical. I didn't know I was going to be. I never thought I would be on a podcast where I would hear mystical.
Saying here mystical.
Thank you, Jay Storm, for bringing mystical back to life. For
Yes,
us.
sir.
If you went pro in sport besides football, what would it be?
Basketball.
You could who?
Not really, but I would definitely work to it. I'm 6'8", still growing.
Say put him on the block and just get it down
just put me on the block and just
Okay.
let me go to work.
Okay, no, I got that. If you could have any superpower, what would that be?
I'd either say super speed or flying. I honestly like flying.
I'm telling you right now. If I ever see you flying in the air with a cape as big as you are, I'm leaving. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm leaving because that would be a scary sight.
That is true.
Like Superman wasn't
crazy.
I mean, Superman was probably what, 6'2"?
Let's say Superman wasn't this big.
No,
crazy.
Dog. I mean, you would just hear the wind, and that cape would be so long. Like, okay, yeah, I like that. Flying would be cool, by the way.
Yes.
I think that would be kind of neat.
Saying that storm name too would really come into play.
Yeah.
There
Oh, yeah.
you flying around in the sky.
I like that.
All right.
Last question. If you had a personal warning label, what would it say?
Okay, this one. I'd say kicks up a storm on the field, sideline views advised.
Ooh, say that again. I like
love
that. Say it one more time.
Kicks up a storm on the field, sideline views advised.
That's fire.
Bars.
That's fire. we need to get you trademarked that because that's going to go with the profile. Storm, you killed it. You killed it, brother.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Say great job through that 2-minute warning. Great job through this one, man. I'm glad that you've been taking my lessons to heart, man. I
Yes,
really
sir.
appreciate
Yes, sir.
that. So it really does mean the most, Jay Storm, because we've been super excited to have you on, both just talking about you and being able to see the things that you do on the field. And now to get that personality side out, I think is what really completes the whole package. So we really do appreciate it.
Yes, sir. No problem. Happy to be here.
Awesome.
Thank y'all. And we'll be right back after this as we get reset for Jay Storm's departure. The storm warning is starting to clear here inside of Studio Triple J, but we'll be right back, folks. So don't go anywhere. Hey, Jay, we've had guests on the show before, but that one was certainly something in terms of bright personality, the bright smile, and then just, again, I can't get over the sheer size of them.
Yeah, no. And the thing that I have been the most impressed about as we've been building a real relationship, with him and as well as the family is that, how many, 5-star athletes are that humble, right? We got one, two.
Today we got two of them.
We got two on the wall, right, that we know personally. Now, we have three, right? Because you notice everything was yes, sir. Like the way that he answered the question. I mean, you can tell that, what his grandfather and his grandmother and his mom have instilled in him. Like those are the values that I know that college coaches are going to look at and say, this is a young man that not only won't get me fired, but he'll get me a contract extension, right? And just seeing and being able to pull out, that fun side of him, it was really fun to see, for me, right? Because, I talked to him about football. We talked about other things that he likes, but to actually have him in the studio and get him to talk about that was really a unique experience.
I'm saying, Jay, I'm only 24, so it's jarring to hear working with Mr. Jake or working with Mr. Wilson. It's jarring to hear that.
Yeah, it's a little different.
But again, it gets, like you said, it's that humble aspect that so rarely gets shown, I think, for a lot of these great 4-star, 5-star athletes like we just had there with Jay Storm.
Exactly. So. And his mom, shout out to Nicole. She's in, this is the green room. She'll be in the blue room.
I guess so. Okay. I guess so.
Look, she corrected me. She said, hey, Jay, he picked up LSU and Baylor last 2 weeks, so now he's up to 22 offers.
Jeez.
This kid's got 2 more years of high school football left. Man, I wonder if we're going to get his announced on the Pat McAfee show.
Maybe
we just
we very well
go out there. I heard there's a nice setup out there.
I'll have to definitely pull some strings on that. I've got very loose connections to ESPN, but
because by the time when it's all said and done, I mean, he's already the #1 lineman in the nation in the class of 2028. That's not going to change.
No,
you don't go down, right? And he's already guaranteed running backs that
just run behind me. Run behind me, you're going to get yards. Imagine saying that at the collegiate level. Some 5-star running back behind you hears that, and they're like, oh, yeah, this is going to be something special.
Yeah. No, it's going to be exciting.
Yes.
It's going to be exciting journey for Jay Storm, and can't wait to continue to watch this young man as he grows over these next couple of years, as he concludes high school and then moves on to that next chapter. But we don't want to rush it. I know mom, granddad, they want to, keep him where he is now and let him grow the right way. But us football fans, I'm ready for the nation to know who this young man is.
And you mentioned there, too, talking about looking ahead to the future. And one of the great things that we've been trying to do here at Protection United is being proactive, thinking about trying to create the full access roadmap from the moment you sign with us at the high school levels all the way to college is where we've been at. But now, Jay, the very special announcement and a very special partnership that we've been working on here for a while now, we've got you set for when you make it to the league.
To the league. NFL.
Yes.
The National Football League.
We're talking big time here because with the work that has been going on behind the scenes and some great connections that we've been able to make with some great quality people that will be coming on here very shortly as well, Protection United is very excited to announce a strategic partnership with Legacy Sports Advisors and an opportunity to protect the legacy of all of the members of the Protect You crew, Jay.
Yeah, no, brother. I mean, this is, like I said, something that has been in the works for, I would say, a month in essence of just the real work behind it. But when I first met Derek Jackson, and that's why I can't wait to get him and his business partner, Chris Rogers, on here in a little bit. But for me, it was one of those deals where I was excited to know that something was there. When I first met him, we were at D-Lag's house, and we both looked at each other, and it's like we knew it was some kind of synergy there. We just didn't know what at that time, right? And, D-Jax is real big on timing, right? And making sure timing is right. And he's a guy that doesn't like to force anything. He just wants to let it happen naturally. And I'm somewhat of the same way. And I felt like, okay, this is opportunity that maybe we can talk about it. Well, I didn't know where we were going to go for Protection United. I knew I wanted to create this department. I thought it was going to have to be me. And you want to talk about a man that says, hey, Jay, whatever you need, let me know. And I already knew that he was already rocking out with D-Lag. And so if you're good with D-Lag, you can always be good with me because I know Derek likes to keep his circle nice and tight and small and only lets the people in that he trusts. And it was just something about it. And every time I reached out to him, if I had a question about something, it had nothing to do to benefit him. It was to help me. I'm trying to help a question about Protection United, a contract, man, whatever you need, and I'm just excited of when this thing presented itself. And it was almost like, as I'm having these aha moments, he was having those same aha moments in Florida away from me, however many hours away. And I'll never forget when I called him, and said, hey, I got this idea. And he let me know, man, I kind of got the same idea. So here we are. Can't wait to get him on so we can talk about it, man. And hey, let's rock, man. Let's do it.
We're very excited, folks, as you may start to recognize a couple of the faces and really start to respect the prestige that's coming on live here for guests number 2 and 3 as Derek Jackson and Chris Rogers will be joining us in just a moment. And so, folks, welcome on back to a now full table inside of Studio Triple J. Jay, I'm very excited because we got two gentlemen on either side of us that bring a lot more to the table than just their mere presence. They bring forward a great partnership, a great opportunity, and a lot of experience as well, both in the sports agency world as well as some super agents, as well as being former players themselves.
Love it.
No doubt.
Man, hey, Derek, Chris, man, honored, man, to have y'all on, brother. I mean, I still remember, right? We had that dinner. It was on Protection United's first birthday. If y'all remember that. It was October 29th, man. And look where we are now, man. So a lot of people didn't know that was a celebration, right? Because we kept it under wraps because we wanted to make sure that that announcement came the right way. But definitely appreciate y'all being on. And obviously, DJ, I just want to shoot to you, first, man. Kind of talk to us about, your views on the strategic partnership, with Protection United.
Well, I think, Jay, when I look back, man, and we, sitting back, talking, and you were telling me about some of the things that you wanted to do, and we're just talking about, the whole sports agent world and kind of what was going on in the football world, and man, it was I kind of got a glimpse and knew right then, man, like, man, what you were looking to do, and what I had already previously discussed with Mr. Lagway was a lot of what I had done with Legacy Sports in terms of just looking for the right people, looking for the right team, the principles and the pillars and the foundation on which I built it on. Those were all of the different things that you were looking for at the time. And so, Mr. Lagway was a guy who I knew I could trust. He's the guy that was going to shoot you straight. When he tells you something, it's exactly what it's going to be. He's not going to sugarcoat it. And I think that was, kind of the foundation of which we formed our, friendship on. Just somebody, me being in the business, kind of helping and giving, guidance, not even guidance, but just offering, just real true suggestions and, kind of giving some good feedback.
Mhm.
And you were sort of that same guy, I think it was kind of like, man, this, for me, I'm always looking for relatability, somebody I can be comfortable, be myself around.
Mhm.
And, that wasn't a question, when I sat back there and we talked and kind of was just brainstorming, and lo and behold, here we are.
Yeah. I love it, brother.
Say it was very great that this came about too, because we've been talking about trying to make that jump, trying to not only connect really well with our athletes, but then trying to provide them that roadmap of getting to that next stage of where they feel like they really should be
Yep.
in the league as well.
Yep.
And I think one of the more interesting parts of this too is that y'all both come to the table with playing experience. Derek, you played at Troy, am I correct?
That's correct.
You played at Troy, Chris. You played at Alabama, and so bringing that type of experience together, of knowing what it takes to be at those types of levels and to be on those national stages, I feel like it's a great opportunity too to discuss, how that journey came about of playing it as an athlete and then now being a part of the business aspect of the sports world. What has that journey been like from that perspective? And Chris, I guess we could start with you on that. Of where did that transitional phase really start to come from?
Well, I think the biggest question nowadays with NIL space, right? It seems new, but for me and Derek, we both been 4 or 5 stars ourselves, so we understand what it's like after the game, fans coming up asking you for an autograph. But we also understand what it's like when you don't perform as well, right? It's highs and lows, and we and one thing about us, we kind of like a family. We're gonna keep it even keel with you. We're gonna give you advice, break down film with you, do the extra stuff, the homework. Because yes, we're gonna help you with your contract. That's cool. But like, how are you doing as a person? Because there's so much pressure
Right.
putting on these kids, the social media aspect of it, the mental capacity. So for us, it's deeper than just doing a deal for you. Like, we're looking at it long term, 5, 10 years outside of the game. Because we know that ball gonna stop at one point in time, whether it stop for you at 17, 21, 29, or 32. But we want to be here to guide you through that whole process. So that's why we're passionate about doing this, and that's why we love and being fortunate to, help them on and off the field.
I love that.
I love that. And then can you talk about too about just a little bit of the birthing process of what LSA was and those really infancy type stages to where y'all are now?
Well, I mean, I take it all the way back to, just my time growing up in Gainesville. Like, I've
Okay.
always played around or played with great athletes, all the way. Played with Clinton Portis in high school, played with guys like Rod Littles, Cody Martin, Ian Scott. Then you go to college, I played with DeMarcus Ware, O.C. Umenyor, Rayshawn Reed, Derek Ansley, DeWitt Betters, all great, I'm talking about Hall of Fame caliber guys. And so even, it went kind of full circle, when I was living in D.C. and then Clinton he gets traded from Denver to the Redskins. And so, just knowing, man, like, I've always been around greatness. And so, when I was making that journey in terms of being, an agent, it was like, I know what hard work looks like. I came from a small country town, and all of those guys that I just named, always had something to prove, always worked harder than the next guy because they wanted to be great. And so for me, just looking at the type of guys that we work with, even at what you built in Protection United, you're talking about a guy. I take it all the way. I take it to Jay Storm. Like, he talked about, not really understanding what his grandfather was saying when you needed to go out there, you work, you need to run.
Right.
But now he understands
Yeah.
the importance of hard work. Like, those are the foundations. Those are the pillars that's going to help you get a gold jacket. That's going to help
Right.
you be great in whatever capacity, that life leads you. And that's what at Legacy and even at Protection United, I know that's what everybody here is, geared towards. That's what we're going to hold everybody accountable. Everybody's going to work hard. Everybody wants to be great. And so, in order to do that, there's no substitution. There's no shortcuts. You got to be willing to put in the grind, put in the work. And that's what, my journey and from, when I started playing to when I started Legacy Sports, getting with a guy like Chris, who understands, what it's like to have to work your way up from the bottom to the top. I mean, that's what we believe in. That's what we stand for, and that's why we put so much into it. Chris talked about the contracts are important. Guys you gotta get them paid.
Correct. They gotta
But-
eat. Yep.
But what are you doing day to day,
Right.
day in and day out?
Right.
The contract, you don't, your contract not gonna be up every day.
It's true.
But are you putting in work every day? And we, that's what we pride ourselves on.
Right.
Saying emphasizing that to guys, because they still go. People have this, they look at these athletes and they're superhuman, and they don't think that these guys go through, everyday life like we do, but they do. They're human. And so they have to balance not only the being able to perform at a high level,
Right.
but also the life
Right.
expectations.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
just being real, just being, just being somebody that guys can relate to, that they can be comfortable with, that they can trust. you know, I think that's what makes us elite and why
Yeah.
guys want to go and work with, a Protection United, a Legacy Sports, and that's why we collab. And that's why we're here today.
My man, no, and I appreciate that, bro. And that is one of the things that I was probably the most impressed about you, right? Without going into detail, just stories that D-Lag shared with me about how you always were being there for DJ, right? I remember just a few weeks ago, right, when we were trying to get the pod on, and you had to be there for another client,
Yep.
and it had nothing to do with a contract.
Right.
And it was nothing transactional.
Nope.
It was just being there.
Being there.
Like, I'm going to be there.
Yep.
I'm going to be here for you. And it's funny that you mentioned that because you actually inspired me to when this past summer, right? Because, fast growing, agency on this side, we rep about 72, 73 athletes now. And
Yep.
I remember me and Jake sat here at this table and we went through because I told them we have to go see every one of our athletes at least one time. I was like, every college athlete, every high school athlete,
Yep.
we got to make sure that one of us is going to be at every one of their games. And, I'm big about the little checklist. Like, the wife can't even send me to the grocery store without me giving me a list because I got to be able to feel that.
Right.
But so using those notes, and it's just cool, man, to see my list where it started.
Yep.
And after every game, I just hit the little thing, right? Hit the little check box. And so I love what you're saying on that because once again, it has nothing to do with any kind of transactional thing. It's just about letting them know that we're here for them.
Yeah.
Even a young man like a Jay Storm that,
Yeah.
he's in Texas. He can't even make any money until another 3 years,
Yeah.
right? Just because no NIL allowed here in the state for high schools, per UIL. So,
Yeah.
But I don't care about that. I want to build a relationship. I want this young man to know that we're going to do everything we can to help him live his dreams and just be an extension. And I know that's what you and Chris are doing at Legacy.
Yeah.
So, now passing it over to you, big dog. Hey, I like how you just rolled out. Y'all played at Bama. We want to hear. How did you get there? Tell us your story, man. And
Yeah, I think for me, being a kid I'm from Florida, so
which part?
Lakeland, right between Tampa, Orlando, Central Florida. And I think coming out of there, Florida, Texas, Georgia, those states are over recruited sometimes, right? Because there's so much talent. So coming out, I had over 30 offers, had the who's, whatever. But what I try to tell kids, you got to really assess the university, assess the coaching, the scheme, the fit. Because it's at the end of the day, they all got nice facility. At the end of the day, they got nutrition, but like who really gonna pour into you? Who really gonna believe in you? So Alabama provided an opportunity for me. I actually thought I was gonna go to UCLA. But then the time zone, from Florida, and back, so I was
That's
like,
a lot.
Yeah, but I love Beverly Hills. I'm kind of Hollywood, so they call me super agent.
Hey, Hollywood almost got you.
Yeah, Hollywood kind of got me. But I went to Alabama, and what sold me on Alabama was back then that time you'll go on a trip, and I actually think somebody staged this because I was going through the airport, and man, like 2-3 people ran me down. I was like, "You Chris Rogers? You from Florida? We really need you." And they just read down my whole stats, and they knew my track time. You do this, do that, and this was like 2004. So, I was.
It was staged. You think
I think it was staged.
They playing that.
They planned it, and it was just like back then. I was like, man. They was all recruiting me, but like to have random people stop in the airport, and just run you down, and they was because they sold back then. Our fan base is like nowhere else. You can go anywhere in the country. They're gonna say Roll Tide, and still to this day, I go anywhere. Like Derek was talking about, had the pleasure of playing with 15 first-round draft picks. 45 guys got drafted. So when you think about playing with Mark Ingram, the first ever Heisman Trophy winner in Alabama history, Julio Jones, the Marcel Darius, the Mark Barons, the who's. These guys went top 10.
Yeah.
DJ Fluker,
Dogs.
all these guys.
I won a lot of fantasy football leagues with those guys.
and I think for me, right, like I was fortunate enough to, I didn't go to, and I tell people my story is I didn't get hurt. Most guys come and say, "Oh, I tore my arm, I broke." Nah, man, I went to school, made SEC academic, did everything the right way. In fact, I had 3 guys who in front of me, they all got drafted. Kareem Jackson played 15 years.
He played for the Texans. Yeah.
Javier Arenas played 6 years. Then Marquise Johnson played. He played 3 years. So these guys was in front of me. I got limited time, but they went to the NFL. So Chris Rogers had to do what? Go to work.
Right.
I'm okay to go to work because now Coach Saban been the first player that Coach Saban ever coached to be an NFL agent, and at that time Coach Saban still don't like agents. Only one he like is Jimmy Sexton. And Jimmy Sexton getting everybody paid. So, but back then I remember being in the locker room and he was like, agents are bad, and I wanted to change the narrative.
Yeah.
Agents can help you. Agents can show you the way. And then also being in front of all the guys that I played with, helping them through the process. Sitting down with Julio, sitting down with Trent Richardson, sitting down with Mark Ingram, and just being the friend. Because, everybody talk about Rich Paul and LeBron, but like a lot of us come from inner city. I'm an inner city kid. Well, I'm the first person in my family to go to college.
Okay.
A lot of stuff you just don't know.
Yeah.
So now to kind of help these guys understand the process, understand how to code switch, understand you still can be you, be educated. But like, I think that's what we bring, that balance of showing them you are who you are. You can get your good grades. You can navigate these circles. And that's why I think it's so special that we've been able to go to these big time universities. But what does it really mean if you go to these schools and you don't leverage them? Because they leveraging you.
We talking real too, Jay. Like this ain't we're not just patting you on the back telling you good game. We actually talking to you.
Right.
We talking about real life, what's going on at home, not just football stuff.
Right.
Like, man, this is, and that's the part that we love the most. Like it's like real, bro. It's like me and you,
right?
Like we just talking. Like we talk about everything. Before we've been sat back and been out there for 2 hours just talking.
Facts.
But when you having real good conversations and talking about real stuff,
that's what happens.
That's what happens.
That's what happened in D-Lag's backyard that night when I first met you.
Right.
We watched the sun set. It was dark as hell outside. We didn't turn the light on out there because and 2-3 hours passed by. So
and when you family like that, I mean, I can't tell you, Mr. Lagway always. I know I got a room at his house.
Yeah.
I come here. I know Jay. Hey man, you can crash. Facts. Put your feet up anywhere. Facts. That's family, and that's what we're about at Protection U and Legacy Sports.
I love that. Protect your legacy. I'm ready to hashtag that. I think that's so fire. Maybe because I thought about it, but I'm a little Hollywood too. I don't know if I'm Hollywood as you though, Chris. But I feel you on UCLA. I bet if I was out there, I'd have been like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it was nice.
The tax bracket I don't like, but I like everything else.
And opportunities, the opportunities are there. Like I tell people all the time, right? Like it's funny you say the tax bracket because when I talk to kids about going West Coast, the first things people from the South say, the tax bracket. If I say, okay, what good if I'm staying in the South and I make $50,000, but if I go to California, I can make $1 million. Do I care about the tax bracket? I tell my clients, I'm okay with paying tax. You know what that means? I mean, I'm making a lot of money. So, don't worry about the taxes. Go get the money.
Yeah. Well, and that's what we, because we do have our own house, financial business consulting firm that we help our athletes with that. And it's funny you mentioned that because it was a situation where it was either go to a school on the East Coast or down South, I should say, or go to a school out on the West Coast, right? So I'll protect school names. But to your point, we looked at both contracts and I said the same thing. And I said, this is why we need to ask for X, because then if you're worried about taxes potentially coming out and how they're looking at it, then it's going to offset, to your point, Chris, and you're going to be fine. So,
but another thing I tell parents, something they can't see is the opportunity cost. Opportunity cost, right? Like me living in, I'm just going to veer off, but I got to tell this story. When I first moved to Silicon Valley, everybody told me I should move to Oakland. Go to Oakland, right? And I said, nah, I want to be right by Levi Stadium.
Right.
So I know Ruben Foster, one of our guys, and so I moved right by Levi Stadium. I don't know anybody. I'm telling you, like I believe in marketing. So I moved to this apartment that I can't afford. You know what I'm saying? Everybody talking about prices, $3,500 a month. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna afford this, but I need to be in Silicon Valley. I'm gonna be in Silicon Valley. But the funny thing about it, like by me living in this apartment complex, I ended up meeting 4 people to change my life. It ain't that many black people in Silicon Valley, by the way. So the 4 people was 5 people stayed. There was 2 football players for the 49ers stayed there.
Okay.
And other people was a guy worked at Microsoft, guy worked at Apple, guy worked at Google. And another was a VC. All of us saw each other all the time. Well, I got my job in tech based off those people.
That's live.
But if I was moving to Oakland, not to say nothing against Oakland,
But
the
still,
opportunity cost wouldn't have been
100%.
there. So sometimes I tell people you got to get out your own way. You got to let God work for you,
right.
and trust it. It's gonna work itself out. So and then I had a 6-year career in Silicon Valley. Yes, I'm smart, but if I'm not living where I'm living at,
Brother.
I'm not sure that's happening.
Right. It's all about who you know in that part of it, man. Trust me, there's a lot of cats walking around with Harvard degrees looking for jobs because they didn't take time to go meet and network. And to your point, man, I'm so glad you brought that up, Chris, because I know Legacy as well as Protection United, their promotion and that marketing, things that, we all collectively at this table are helping all of our clients do, with that and understanding the importance of that. And it's a new world, right? It's a new world. And, unlike some that get stuck in the old world, they don't want change. We understand we got to evolve with the change. And that's why we knew that this collaboration was going to be great. Because then getting back to the point that you made, Chris and Lars, about the money deal, same thing with us, right? We could try to go do this thing ourselves. And I think both companies are showing that they can work great by themselves. Right. But what can we do together to help these athletes, man, to make sure that a young man like a Jane Storm Knight, right, or a Justin Wiz or DJ Lag or Jalen Mickens, right, don't forget about my baby, right, somebody that somebody that we all know, man, like collectively what we could do, right, because we all understand our strengths and weaknesses, we all understand what we know, what we don't know, we all want to learn things and we all want to be our own men, but I just so honored and proud that what we all have done here in this moment, because the people watching the show will think that's just a good announcement, a great collab, and they're going to build something. But we all know that it's deeper than that. And we understand that we're going to be at events together. We're going to be events where we got shared clients, events where we got our own clients, and everything in between. But yet, it ain't no jealousy here. It ain't no
I'm going to say the most
egos,
important thing, no egos. You know what I'm saying? Like and I think it's good and healthy to show that. Like when I walked in here, man, I'm happy, man. It's amazing. So I think like we gotta get back to the just basic of loving on each other,
bro.
Because the world is so tough.
We say that one more time. Matter of fact, Computer Jesus, put the camera on Chris. Look dead in the camera, Chris, right there. Thank you. Will you say that one more time to the people out there?
I think it's super important that we got to get back to the most important thing, just loving on each other, because the world is tough and we all need a hug and just tell each other how proud we are of each other. Because I'm super proud of you, man. Like it's one thing to have a vision, have a thought, I want to do this, but to actually go out and do it and implement it. Yeah. And these conversations that you're having with these parents and these students is not easy. Everybody call me all the time and say, "Oh, I want to do your job, Chris." Well, do you really want to do this job? When you think about the time away from home, the flights, the money and the resources that you got to have. It's not just physical money, but the true resource of calling the NFL team, calling the GM, talking to scouts, and sometimes it's not the information you want to hear about a particular client. You got to relay that information to make sure your client is performing at his best. So it's a blessing, man. I'm proud of you, proud of the work you guys are doing. I just love it. So I'm excited.
Yeah, no, man. And I love that. I know we're coming up against it, but I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I appreciate you letting me do that, man. But it's just funny because as I look at, D-Lag in the green room, I mean, he sat up when you said that, which is why I was like, yeah, let me let him say that again, because we're in a world now where everybody can win, and we all should be rooting and supporting each other. And I think that is the biggest missing piece. Everybody was so worried about this and that, and they want to be cutthroat. And I'm just like, what's wrong with us celebrating? When my mind, just growing up, my kid played with DJ Lambert. When DJ throw a touchdown, I feel like we all have thrown a touchdown. When he won National Gatorade Player of the Year, I felt like that was all of us. And it's sad that you don't see all that, getting to meet you and hearing about Legacy. And then a part of me, first time you said, let's do this. Now I'm like, man, we with Legacy. Like, I'm rooting for you guys. Like I told you, fam, the other day, when we were outside, before we even went live, what did I tell you? I saw that you had a college kid, because you in the NIL sector like we are. I know we gonna cross up, but I'm supporting you. When you had your guy, you lead the board, and I know you're gonna go do great things for that young man. I'm one of the first people on your Instagram harding it. Because I'm with that, man. I'm with everything that y'all are doing, and I just want all of us to win, and there's nothing wrong with that.
But I think the biggest thing, right? And like I have tons of relationships, you have tons of relationships. I'll give you a prime example. I may know 15 schools. You may know another 10 I don't know. So like, yes, my job is to land this kid. So my 15 schools may not want the kid. You like, Chris, man, such and such will take him. Let's break it down. Let's work it out. And I don't have no problem. Hey, kid. meet Mr. J. He part of our team was partnership. That's why we could collaborate together.
Right.
That would make us special.
100%.
Yeah.
And y'all can get us indoors that
Yeah.
we can't get in
That's
because you got the relationship. That's what people don't understand. It's like this. We good with making $1 million each. Or what if we all came together and made $10 million?
Let's do it. Let's run it.
And then we help these athletes make all that they can make. And now
make them
you got
100 million.
families like Jay Storm Knight's family that's out there watching in the blue room, being like, man, they took care. Mr. Jackson, man, they took care of my grandson. I first brought him to Derek Lagway and Jay Mickens, and now things work out and my grandson continues to do what he's doing. Now I got Chris Rogers and I got Derek Jackson. Now my grandson has a real team that can truly help. And not be worried about, man, that's my guy, that's my guy. And then next thing you know, me and D-Lag get limited because we don't know the NFL world. You get what I'm saying? Like, it frees y'all up to where you still can go build relationships, but I know y'all got to love on them NFL guys and them high-profile college guys. Now you got a team that's going to help love on the grassroots when them seeds are laid out through our various organizations and all of the... Y'all know I'm excited.
Yeah, no,
I'm just excited, man.
Hey, we sit through the same lens. Jay, that's
I'm
right.
sorry, man.
That's
Get on
why-
the soapbox.
Hey,
but-
no, from day one, I told you, man, anything I can do to help, use me, it's like, let's collab, let's figure out how we can, partner up, whatever the case may be. And man, I think, just everybody here, everybody, in this room, man, we all believe in the same thing.
Yep.
And that's just, what's doing in the best interest of the players,
Right.
the guys, the kids. And so, that's the foundation, and we're gonna stand on that, and we're gonna continue to do great things. So appreciate you, looking forward to it, man. I'm excited.
Hell yeah. We're all very excited here at Protection United to be working this partnership. We've seen the seeds get planted, and now we're starting to see the beautiful flowers and the beautiful relationships start to bloom here. We're very much looking forward to what this is going to look like in the very near future here.
Absolutely.
I love it. Hashtag protect your legacy.
Yes, sir.
We're ready to get it
We're
out.
going to need to start slapping that on shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, it's going to go
Big
viral.
picture.
It's going to go
Big
viral.
picture.
It's going to go viral because people going to know what that means when they see that. And yeah.
Yes.
I'm ready for some people to see that too. So let's get it printed and get it out there.
Absolutely. But with that, folks, we're at our 1 hour mark. And so we greatly appreciate y'all coming in. I know that this took a lot of time and a lot of effort to get this collaboration going here in the flesh and in the studio. So it really does mean the most to have y'all in here.
Yeah. Thank y'all.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Appreciate
And
it.
I just want to say, if you want to reach out you can follow me on social media, Chris Rogers Super Agent. So
I like
There
that.
you go.
Yeah. Hey, DJ, go ahead. Put it
DJ.
out there, man.
Hey, listen, y'all just Google me. But Legacy Sports Advisors, man, protection you. Man, we excited. We're gonna do great things, man. This has been in the works for a minute. So, again, thank y'all for having us.
course.
Appreciate it.
Of course.
And looking forward to it. Excited.
So we're very much looking forward to see where this one goes. And we very much hope that you all will be there along the journey as well, because that does it for this episode of the Protect You podcast. It's been a great one. Great interviews, more people coming into the studio, and hopefully just a little bit of a taste of what's going to be coming down the road here very soon. Jake Wilson, as always, alongside Jay Mickens. Justin Woods was our excellent producer today, going all hands on deck for this one. We hope you all enjoyed it. We'll see you all in the next one. See you around.